Hey everybody, today's special is deep fried turkey. You're not going to want to miss this one. This is adding to our holiday special. Hey everybody, this is Kat Curlee with Cooking with Kat. I'm excited that you're with us tonight. This is our holiday special for Thanksgiving, and tonight we're doing deep fried turkey, and we are featuring my brother, Pat Matthews, tonight, and we're in the home of my parents in San Angelo, Texas, so we're excited that you're joining us today. A lot of people wonder what we do at Thanksgiving in my family, and I've told them that we do deep fried turkeys because that's what we love to do, and it's fairly easy to do. It doesn't take very long, so you're not in the kitchen all day long cooking. But this is something you can do the night before and have the next day, or you can actually do it that day and serve, right? So we just want to share with you how we do this because it's a lot of fun and it's really easy. So don't be afraid to try this. Just make sure that you do it outside and that you have all the safety precautions that you need to do a deep fried turkey. But so you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right. So how long have you been doing this?
4 years now, I guess. 5 years.
Great.
Thereabouts.
And you have your special ingredients that you like to use?
Sure. Kind of mix and match every year.
So every year we kind of do something a little bit different, but one of the things that we love to do is use our grandfather's secret barbecue sauce recipe, which will not be featured on the show.
No.
And it's just something that you'll just kind of have to experiment on your own. So let's just not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get started on this. Now, you're going to have to explain this injector to me because that looks pretty crazy.
This is actually made for injecting meats of any sort. It's they call it a cajun injector, the original. It's just a glorified syringe, heavy duty. It does have more than one hole at the end of the needle. There's a hole here, hole on the other side, and there's a hole at the tip. So you get plenty of injection as you inject your turkey.
Great.
And there is kind of a trick to it. And
I'm sure you will show that to us
in just a minute.
Awesome. Okay, so this is how big?
11.2 pounds.
So about 11-pound turkey. Now, do we do a dry rub on this and all this?
We will do a dry rub.
Okay.
Just various ingredients.
Okay, and then, but before we do all that, we need to talk about the fryer. And there's a weight limit, obviously, right?
Different turkey fryers have different weight limits, just depending on the size of the fryer, depending on the size of the vat. The turkey fryer that I have is an electric turkey fryer, which is a little safer, actually a lot safer than a gas fryer because there's no open flame.
Right.
It's all concealed in a heating element, so you don't have to worry about catching the ground on fire or catching coats on fire or whatever you're doing. This fryer has a 15-pound turkey limit, and that's because of the fill line that they use. They've got an actual fill line in the bottom of your frying vat, I guess you could call it, that just kind of tells you where you need to be as far as your grease level.
Okay. So you don't want to go above that limit,
no,
weight limit?
No, never go over the limit.
Okay.
Always
so this is perfectly proportioned to that fryer, so that's
right.
Always a good thing. Let's get started on this rub.
Right.
So what do we need to do?
Typically I use just a small bowl. That's all we really need.
Okay.
I've got a few different ingredients. This is kind of a fancy glorified version of lemon pepper. I like it. It's good. I like a little spice, so I use the emerald essence typically. A little bit of ground caraway seed. Just adds a little bit of a different flavor to it that I like.
That's good.
Some Cajun seasoning to go along with the emerald's essence. They kind of work well together.
Good deal.
Everything I cook with, I use Cavender's. I don't care what it is. It's good.
Except ice cream.
Well, I'll try it.
And so what is Cavender's?
Cavender's is actually an all-purpose Greek seasoning.
So it has a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything. Just a little bit of a salty flavor, but it's got some really good spice to it. Good. And I'll be using the also trusty fresh ground pepper.
You bet. And do you have any exact measurements on any of this, or do you just kind of go for what looks good for you?
Throw it in.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
No direct measurements.
So it looks about maybe a teaspoon and a half of Cavender's.
My great-grandmother would say a pinch.
Yes, a pinch.
And as I said, I like lemon pepper. There we go. Use quite a bit of that. Next I'll put in the Cajun seasoning. Won't go too crazy with that because we are going to be using, again, the emerald essence.
Yes.
And I'll go a little bit crazier with that. And a good thing about the essence, it's got a lot of parsley and kind of planty type stuff in it. It's just not salt and chemical type stuff.
A lot of herbs.
A lot of herbs. Just a little bit of caraway seed, and trust me, my hands have been washed.
Probably about a half a teaspoon.
About that much.
Yeah, looks good.
And a lot of fresh ground pepper.
You bet. Cannot go wrong with fresh ground pepper. Of course, our family likes a lot of spice anyway, so the spicier it gets seems to be kind of fun.
I'll use our handy thermometer to kind of mix it together.
There you go.
Smells good to me.
Let me smell. Wow, that does smell yummy. Love that.
And you don't see a whole lot of this in the bowl, but it actually goes a long way.
That's good.
Because you're just doing a light rub on the turkey. You're not wanting to completely coat it all over the place.
Right.
I just like to sprinkle a little bit. This turkey has been dried and cleaned. Just a light coat. If you want to get it nice and thick, you can actually spritz it with a little bit of water just to kind of dampen the skin a little bit to where it'll stick a little bit better. This is just to kind of give it a little extra flavoring. And again, it doesn't have to be a whole lot.
It looks great. Just make sure all your ends are coated a little bit. You know, in the years past that you've done these fried turkeys, they're probably some of the best I've had because the flavoring is so amazing. And you would think that deep frying a turkey would dry it out, but it actually is very moist.
Yeah, what goes on is when you put it in the fryer, you're actually searing all of the skin, all of the exterior parts, I guess.
Right.
So you sear all that moisture inside, nothing escapes, nothing goes in. You save all of your grease. You don't use any grease. You can put the exact amount of grease that you put into the fryer back into your bucket when you're done.
That's great.
So it's actually realistic. It's pretty healthy as far as I'm concerned because you're not soaking up anything like you would with, say, fried chicken. That's
right.
Got all the
you don't have
batter
the batter.
that
Right.
absorbs all of
Gotcha.
the grease and the saturated fats and what have you.
Okay, so tell me about the different types of injections that people use. Because obviously we're using a barbecue type sauce.
Right.
But
there are many different injectables that you can use. There's Cajun injectables. Tony Chachere's, I think, makes jalapeno butter.
Okay, so can you use whiskeys and beers and things like that to...
I'm sure you probably could. I've never done it personally, but it would definitely add pretty good flavor to it.
Absolutely.
I know Jack Daniel's makes a lot of marinades. The more liquid they are, the better they will be. Because again, you're going through these little bitty holes in the syringe. So the thicker it is, the harder it's going to be to get into the meat and press through.
Gotcha.
So the more liquid, the better. To me, the spicier, the better. So I mean, it's just your personal preference. If you like what it tastes like, then stick it in the turkey, and it's probably going to enhance the flavor as it's being cooked. Basically, you just stick your needle in, and what you want to do when you're injecting the turkey is stick it in without touching the bone. You want to go into the meat only, and try not to puncture both sides. You're already putting one hole in one side. As you're injecting, you pull out.
Okay.
So as it goes, you'll actually have a nice little line of the sauce
Gotcha.
into the meat.
Okay, now we're done injecting. Do we stuff the turkey?
No, you just leave it, just the bird. Obviously make sure that the bag of giblets is out. I
That
take
would be
everything
good.
out. I also pull the pop-up thermometer out because you are in 400 degree
Oh, yeah.
grease.
And it will
so
melt it.
400 degrees will melt plastic. So this turkey's been completely thawed out.
And the oil is just
there is
perfect.
still yes, the oil is just right on. It's been preheated, the light's off. So
Okay.
when you put the turkey in, you are going to lose a little bit of heat. So typically what I do is preheat. You cook at 350 degrees, I preheat to 400 degrees. So you have a
Okay.
little bit of variance there to where you can make sure your temperature stays about 350 the whole time.
Now, what's the rule of thumb of cooking? There's so many minutes to cook
Yes.
per pound.
At 350 degrees, you're looking at about 3.5 minutes per pound.
Okay.
This one's 11.2 pounds. It's just over 39 minutes. So
Okay.
40 minutes, you'll be good.
We'll be done. Wow, this will be great. All right, so let's cook this thing.
All right. This fryer came with a contraption to pick the basket up. This is the basket, and it fits perfectly in the vat around the heating element. It's got a little notch cut out. So you just grab your basket and set it in very, very slowly.
And there it goes. It is really nicely cooking. So now we just wait for about 40 minutes. So do you check on it? Or do you just keep it covered the whole time?
I keep it covered the whole time. When I pull it out, I will test to make sure it is at 160 degrees.
Oh, that's good. Do you use a digital thermometer or do you use a regular meat thermometer?
I've got just a regular meat thermometer, just an analog thermometer. They do the trick. The key is to make sure you get it to the proper cooking temperature. So
absolutely.
If it's not at that temperature, it's not going to hurt to put it back in the grease. I would start, if it's not completely at 160 degrees, start at 5 minutes and check it. After that, check it another 5 minutes. It shouldn't be much further past the recommended time. So
now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wait.
Right, it's about time to flip the turkey. The top half of the turkey is just a bit out of the grease, so I'm going to flip it over so I can get the top half and get it nice and golden brown.
That is so pretty. It just is so golden brown. It's just beautiful.
Oh my goodness, that smells good.
It is smelling so good. If you could smell this right now, it is just amazing.
Notice I'm not touching anything.
Yeah, no kidding. Do I need to move out of the way?
It is warm. See how nice and golden brown that is?
Wow, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. This is amazing. And we just put it right back down.
Again, nice and slow.
Wow. This smell is absolutely incredible. It is amazing how it smells a lot like fried chicken.
It does. It smells a lot like fried chicken, really. I don't know if you can see it at home, but you can still see right here the skin is still intact, and it's actually kind of poofed out a little bit, as you would think, because of the heat. So you're not losing the moisture. All the moisture is staying inside the bird, so it's going to be nice and juicy when you get ready to eat it.
That'll be great.
All right, we're ready to check the turkey, make sure it's at the proper temperature. This off the side here. Again, I emphasize slowly pull out and slowly put in, because you don't want any of that grease to splatter. Let it drain. Now we'll test it to make sure we're at the proper temperature. And again, when you're testing the heat, you always want to make sure that you're in the meat, not through the bone, into the cavity.
And what degree does it need to be inside?
160 degrees.
Okay.
We're at 160 degrees. We're
perfect. This is actually the most beautiful turkey I've ever seen, and with it being fried, it's just going to be amazing, and I can't wait to eat it for tomorrow's lunch. Thank you so much for doing this.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
This is great, and I love it when family can get together and cook together, because they say that families that cook together stay together, and I think that's true. Okay, so how can we find you online?
I'm on Facebook, Patrick Matthews with 1 T. And I should have pictures of me and my kiddos, or just my kiddos. So
that's awesome.
Again, in San Angelo, so you can look for Patrick Matthews in San Angelo, Texas.
Listen, you can find us online at catcurlee.com, and I'd love for you to submit your recipes to recipes@catcurlee.com. These Thanksgiving dishes and Christmas dishes, holiday dishes in general are fabulous, and I would love for you to submit them to me, because we want to cook as many of them as possible. This will be fun. You can locate me on Twitter at www.twitter.com/catcurlee, and follow me there, and I will be posting more sessions that we do live, as well as videos. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you'll be back to join us really soon.
And put your arm around her, Pat, and y'all, you know.
Act like we love each other.
There we go. All right, we're getting ready to roll, so we need quiet.
Quiet on the set. Not going to want to miss this one. This is adding to our holiday special.
Perfect.
Okay, that was a good one.
That was good. You did
Yeah.
that right
One
on.
take.
One take.
So